someone coming and join me. So it is just a spontaneous live. So I'm gonna wait a little and see if someone shows up, and gonna talk a little about maybe a little of everything. I'm not sure if someone gonna show up because I know the Americans might be sleepy or it's very early morning. I'm not sure. I know it's in the middle of the day, so maybe people are busy because it's Saturday. Maybe you want to prepare things before the evening. I don't know, but I had some time to kill, so I thought I should come here and do a little live. So we have to see. We have to give it time because I didn't really feel for making a video today. So, but at least I tried a new foundation I got from the Gothic Beauty magazine box, and this is how pale I can go. So it's not that directly visible on me because I'm a little too pale from start. So, and when you blend it into your skin, it disappears. In the beginning, it can look really white, but then it goes more blend, and this is how it ends up. And my hair looks a bit yellow today. I don't know why. Maybe it's the light. I don't know. But yeah, I have to see what I'm gonna do because I want to have it a little more fresher for summer, but we have to see. So I was thinking I should try to talk about things, and I have little things in mind, but I want people actually to also be with me and maybe decide what I'm gonna do. I thought I should do a little more do it yourself. I can do it simple with just a shirt and show how you can do a black t-shirt maybe to something a little more goth or more your style too. I have done something similar before, but I thought we should try something new this time. And I also think that maybe you can come along whilst I'm painting a patch, because we know that when we have our do-it-yourself or our battle vests or whatever you call it, the jackets, when you put on all those buttons and patches and everything, you maybe want to have something that is a little more unique, and then you can actually do your own. Just use the colors that can stand a little more for the weather than that. I'm not sure how 100% to stay in washing, but at least they can look fine. I had done a short video for recently on one of mine that had painted a lot of the passage myself, and that is actually a good way to also show support for things you like bands and other things. So it's just your imagination that stops you from it. But if you have any question, you can just ask, because I don't really know exactly what I want to talk about. I just wanted to come and just say little words now and then and everything like that, because I don't have that much to do right now, because we already done a lot of things before and it's too cold outside. I don't think I have heard Modern Witch, so I think I have to check them out. Is it an old or new band? Because I don't think I have seen or heard something about them. I don't recognize the name at least. So, but I can check it out. I always love to find new bands because it's amazing when you can find new things, even when you're elder. So, and we live in different parts of the world too. So, in some countries you can have much more of some type of bands, and the next one they have other types of bands. So all can have this unique sound too. So I'm happy to check them out. Are they into the goth thing? Because they sounded gothic at least. So yeah, so I was thinking that I might paint a patch or something, but that's gonna be over the longer part because the coals need to dry in between. It's not that fast, and you need to do this background bit. I usually do like a white background and use black paint to color the motif with. Ah, it's a new band. I'm gonna see if I can find them. Else, if you want, you can put it down later in the comment field, maybe with the link if they have a YouTube video. It should be really nice. I should be very grateful because I like to find new bands too, because music is the things that makes the world at least be standable, if you can say that, because music is so important for me. I think I should go mad with that, but I go actually mad at work too, but that is because they play wrong type of music all the time. It's not like I can choose that. So it's just the typically pop and sluggers and that type of things that I don't like. So we have to see. I know that we are planning for after summer. We're not gonna have that long vacation during summer. Just gonna take the week around midsummer and see what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna save the days for a little later because hopefully we can get over to UK this year because we haven't been there for 6 years now, and Trevor started to be a bit mad. You know, when you live with an Englishman and he started getting this losing the grip about civilization and that type of things. Because even if I live in Sweden, Sweden and UK are two different places, and there's a lot of things that he have learned over here that not work the same like in UK, and the opposites around. Of course, I learned a lot about UK too, and I have many friends in UK, and I hope gonna see some of them when I get over. So hopefully I can meet some of my Eldergoth friends and even younger ones if that's the way too, because I miss to have that type of things. It's not that many visible goths anymore, at least not where I live. It was during, what should I say, 10-15 years ago. It was a little more living, but then it started to fade out, and many of my friends actually jumped off the goth scene and say, oh, we think we are too old now. So they went over to other things, and many of them actually went over to like vintage pinup and that type of things, or living like the 50s and 60s. But it's not my thing. I'm still a goth, and that's what I want to be. I don't want to change that bit because I'm getting older, and I don't think we should have to change that bit. So yeah, just have to see how it goes. I think I'm gonna be gothic even when I go to this old people's home or whatever you call it. We call it pensionärshem. But yeah, I'm still gonna be me, and they have to stand with everything. So hopefully I'm not that active moving around and that type of thing, so they can decide a little more over me if they don't like it. But as long as I can be me and do whatever I want, I'm gonna be that too. And yeah, and when it comes to do-it-yourself projects, yeah, there's a lot of things we can do with jewelry, whatever. If you have any wish, just let me know. And I'm waiting for more people to interact too, so hopefully they can come along. It's a little strange to sit here and talk with just the camera and not much respond maybe, because it's easier when you have a more active live too. I guess it's easier when you also have people that want to join in the chat. But yeah, I guess it's time difference all the time, and that's a bit sad. I wish I had more friends that is like me, closer, but you need to live in a much bigger city too. And I know that even if they try to get some of the subcultures up, I know that it's gonna be in the summer gonna be a punk festival, for example. But it's very hard when it comes to the goth subculture. It's not the living thing anymore over here, and I don't often hear about the things from Gothenburg because most of my friends that lived in Gothenburg don't live there anymore, and I have lost the contact with them because they have moved away and that type of things, and maybe not inside the subculture anymore. So I was hoping that maybe I could start to know a little more people that are around my type. You don't have to be my age, just big off. That's the only demand I have, so we can at least listen to the same type of music and enjoy that type of things. And no one gonna say something if we get ready for doing something that, oh, for fuck's sake, why do I have to take that long, or why do you have to change 4 or 5 times before we go if the time is too much? Because that's a bad thing too. If you're gonna do a party, remember when we were still very active when we had a club in this town too. So if we had too much time before we should go out, and I was not feeling hungry about my outfit, so I could change a lot of times till we didn't have time to change anymore. And people, oh, for fuck's sake, decide. It was easier for the other ones that have to take on the clothes they already had decided for when they came, because usually we went over to someone and you had the clothes with you that you had planned for. But if it's in your own place, everybody's coming to, so you know, it's very easy to, oh, I don't like this, I don't think this feel right, and then it starts change, and they go mad. and then the time runs out and you have to stick with what you have. And yeah, and I'm still thinking about, I don't know who have watched my corset video. I had two of my corsets that been way too big. I'm still haven't decided if I'm gonna try to sell them on Vintage, because I know that's an app you can use, but I never used it. I have never bought anything from that one either, so I don't know how it works. I don't know if I should go to one of the communities I have that I know that people love courses, but I'm not sure what they're willing to pay for it. And they were not that cheap, those ones either. So it's not like I want to just give them away for nothing, because it's courses I can't use, and I have hardly used them that much either, because there are the bigger sizes too. So it feels a bit sad when things change that much, but at least I'm not that angry either, because I needed this thing for my health and everything to lose all that weight too. So you can't just keep the weight for fitting some of your old stuff, or newer old stuff, you could say, because the older stuff I can still use. So that's great. So you don't have to cost that much. I'm still not sure where I am then, but I think about some week from now. I have now tried almost 2 weeks to sleep without my CPAP mask machine on, and it goes well, and I actually sleep much better. I don't walk, nothing wakes me up that is disturbing me or something, or blowing in my face or whatever, and I actually sleep longer now. So yeah, it's just the work that's been very terrible for the moment, very stressful and heavy, and that type of thing, because there's so much going on, and we don't have people enough, and some of the people are not that fast either, so we have to compensate for that type of things, and that is hilarious sometimes when they also want us to help them on the other parts, and we're still after with our things, but my part always comes last in the priority. They want us to get everything into the warehouse, but they also put us last. So if the outbound section is after, so we need to help them out, or someone else that have another type of customers need help in the other houses, so they can say, we need people, send them here, and we have to sacrifice ourselves, and then we have a few that have to do everything. And it's been harder because now we are not in 2 shifts anymore. We are in this just same, we just start different times. I am happy I have the early shifts. That means I'm home earlier, so the day feels at least a little longer before it's bedtime, so I can actually do things after I'm getting home, and that's great too. So I'm very happy that it goes that way too. But I should wish that it was a little less stressful, and they actually understand what they put on us when it comes to that thing, because everyone have been so tired lately because there's so much to do, and you can't go on 200% every time. 100% is already bad enough, but when it feels like you go on double speed on everything all the time, so it don't last forever. But I'm at least happy that it goes great without sleeping without an CPAP machine, so that's a big plus. I'm very happy. So I'm actually thinking of buying some little more fancy type of cookies or something in a nice cookie jar or whatever you call it. And when I bring in my CPAP machine to the hospital, give this staff on this part of the hospital, give them that like a thanks from me, and a card with it too, that's gonna tell how much everything means, because if it wasn't for them, I shouldn't be where I am today, because it was the first time actually something started to happen, because I have been complaining for a long time how tired I started to be, and I started to fall asleep when I tried to read a book, if I tried to watch a movie or whatever at home, and I was not focused, I fell asleep. So that's why I also did jewelry and that type of thing, because I needed to be focused and do things. I needed to do that type of things, and my hands are finger handicap too. So for me, it's a little like doing some type of rehab type of thing. So I keep my fingers a little better, maybe give them a little more strength. But yeah, I have clumsy days too when I can't do things, because either I'm too shaky or I can't grip things proper. So it's a little annoying, especially when people don't know the background about everything. And like when you're in shop and start to dropping and act clumsy or something, so they're thinking, oh, what are you going, or are you drunk or something? But they don't understand that some people have handicap. You can look healthy, you can look okay, but you can have other issues. It's so much easier if you have something that people can't avoid to look at, like a wheelchair. I don't say they have that easy, because they probably have a hell too with people, but I think at least people see that you have a handicap. You use that for a reason. But if it's not visible on you, it's like having things, rheumatic things. You can't really tell about a person, but the person knows it themselves, because they have pain and they're sick and whatever, and there are different types of things. It's like I have fibromyalgia too, so that's also a thing that people can't see, but I know it too well. But actually, since I lost all the weight, it goes a bit better actually for me, so that's a good plus too. So it actually shows that to get this chance to change life actually can help in other aspects too of your health. And that's why I wanted to give them like a little thank you from me, because no one was listening but during that time when it started to go so wrong with my health, and said something is wrong. Is it vitamins or whatever? What am I missing? Something is wrong. And some of the doctors didn't take me seriously. But then, okay, one of my last doctors said, before I had her till she got her pension, so she was the first that actually started to listen on this type of thing. So he said, I send things so they can check how you're sleeping, and if it's because you're not sleeping enough or whatever. And it shows up that I have had sleep apnea. I don't have it anymore, because they just told me that it's more or less gone now. So it's just now I have to check out to not gaining weight and that type of thing, so it might come back, because if that depended on my weight before, that it affected me so much, so then it's also a thing for me to why I should keep me in better shape. You don't have to exercise like a fucking maniac or something. You just have to be you, and maybe eat more healthier and that. And I can't eat like I want to anymore, because I have this microbelly after the surgery, I gastric bypass, and it's actually nice that it worked, and it's actually nice to see that you can change your diet that much. I mainly drink water and coffee with a little milk nowadays, so I don't even drink soda. I haven't even tried it yet, so I'm not sure I'm gonna like it. But I know that I tried some things that have a lot of sugar in it, and I didn't like them anymore, because when you have eaten food and that type of things that is not that full with that type of things, it's not tasting good anymore. So of course I want to find things that taste more party type of like, so at least I can feel like having a little more fancier day or something, and not just have the shake. But I think some of the things, when you don't feel for candy, that there are really good protein shakes nowadays, even for people that have done this surgery. So for me, I think that fills up my sweet tooth, or whatever you should call it, because I don't feel that I need to eat candy direct anymore. But I don't give me that forbidden part either, so I can taste, but I focus on doing the right choices first, so I get my protein inside that. At least my hair is better now. You don't falling off that much hair loss anymore. So that's great, because it's been a disaster for months. And like Trevor said, you shed a worse than a golden retriever. So that tells a lot when you find those long hair everywhere. And it looked like a disaster. So we could have a long haired light dog. And it should be that one is shedding, but it's not that one. At least we had. It's not alive, what I know. I don't know directly any goths over here, more than I know that one person that is very big on Instagram, that goes around with a lot of festivals and concerts and that type of things. I don't remember the nick now, but I know that person is a they, I think, work sometimes with selling merchandise for Sisters of Mercy, for an example, and the band that Ben Christo that is in Sisters of Mercy are selling. So I know that this person goes over a lot to UK for that type of things too. But else, I don't really know if it's a living goth scene anymore over here. That's why it's so sad, because I miss my friends, but they have disappeared and they have been more normies or other type of things. And I'm not interested in this 50s and 60s type of style directly. I can think it's cool, but I don't want to live like them and listen on that type of music, because I still love the things I love. So why should I change just because I'm getting older? But in Gothenburg might be, but sadly a lot of clubs have gone down. So I don't know how it is with when it comes to the living club scene and that type of it, because I know that even the metal scene have lost a lot of clubs too. But I know that Mirre, that is behind the Subkult Festival, that is every summer here in Sweden, that is an alternative one. She do a lot of things still even in Gothenburg. So could be some concerts and that type of things, but it's not always know when they are, and they're mainly on ordinary working days too. So it's not fitable when I'm gonna go up 4 a.m. because I'm a little too old for getting up that early after being out and hardly get any sleep. And my job can be dangerous if you haven't slept enough, because it's the vehicles we use at work and all the heavy stuff we're lifting and working with. So an accident can happen very fast. So I don't know really. So yeah, so that's why I hope that I can find a little more people like me. I know in Stockholm, that is the capital town, but it's on the east coast, a long bit up in the country. So I think they have still at least a living club scene, but I don't know how, if they have been affected in the same way like the clubs have, even in those areas like Gothenburg and Borås and that type of things. And sadly, this financial crisis that started already around COVID, so that's when everything started to go down. And because when you come to subculture and that smaller type of clubs and that type of things, they don't gain money. So the clubs that still are for the mainstream ones, and it's not the same. It's not the same, and especially not in my town, because in my town is it's a place where everybody wants to look in a certain way, and you should fit in that this description too, to be something to be counted with. And you listen to the popular type of music, and that's not me really, even if I love the 80s and I love some of the metal and music and that type of things, but I'm mainly into goth, so they don't play that type of music. They don't even know what a goth is when they ask, and you tell them that you are a goth. You have to try to describe in a way so they should understand what it is, because they're looking like at you like, what freak are you? Because they don't really understand. So yeah, I was hoping that I should find a little more friends, and at least elder ones too. So if I don't move to another country, I guess it's gonna be hard to find it, because here they really are hidden in their case. I think if I've been into the metal scene, it's been much more easier, because I know people into the metal scene, but Trevor is a metalhead, so I think it's easier to actually make friends in that scene, because it's much bigger here in Sweden, and you have the yearly festival, Sweden Rock Festival, that is very big too. So it comes people from other countries too, and I think that's the only festival that's really haven't had a problem to survive all the other things that have gone on the latest years either. So they are still that big, and they can still take in all the really big names too. So I think that makes a difference. And if you are like Sweden, not a big place, our cities is not as big as some of the countries, because we are a small country. If you think of it, there's not that many millions that live in this whole country. If you look at the map and such, I don't know the exact number how many we are now, but compare that. So we could easily say that the whole Sweden's population is like one of the bigger maybe town in US when it comes to millions of people. So you see, it's not the same here. And if you live in a really small subculture and want to be active in it, it's harder because you don't have the people coming in and you don't have the money for it and that type of thing. So that's why you have to trust that you can find them in communities at least. So at least this type of thing are a way to actually get to know people, hopefully. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been in touch with someone that is from my closest area and my age that still are into the goth subculture anymore. Like I said, the few that I remember from around 2000, 2010, they are not goths anymore either. So that's the sad thing. They have left it. For me, it's not a phase like a high usually says, but they have sadly left. And yeah, I can still be friends with them. It's no problem. You don't have to be goth to be friends with me, but it should be really nice to actually have friends that are into the goth subculture too, because I do miss those years. I do miss them. It feels a bit alone when you can't have this type of conversations about band and other type of things and the fashion help outfit, doing the makeup or whatever, or get inspiration from each other's, because goth is for me not just the music, even if the music is the most important for me, it's also an inspiration, and you get inspiration from other goths, and that's great too. And you can put together your own style. You don't have to follow all the rules that some people want you don't have to stick in one box. Collect what you think, make it yours, and make it goth. That is my greatest advice. Make it goth, be you. So and yeah, I have always been a little too sweet looking for getting the right type of goth look too. I've always been a little tiny bit jealous on those that have this very good look that really don't need much to get this really extreme goth look, especially the trad goths ones, because I love trad goth, but I'm always looking too nice, so it's hard. So you need to get your own style because it's not sure you're gonna fit into everything. But if you're just true to yourself, you can live with it too, because that's who you are. That's who you're gonna be. And I do love when people can be themselves and don't be judged by the cover and that type of things, because we should be able to actually be ourselves too. And that's why I think things like the Sophie Lancaster Foundation do a very important job in UK too. And I know that the singer in Auger, a UK band from Blackpool, actually work for Sophie Lancaster Foundation too. So he's like one of the faces out. And I think that work is very important too. And I think Mirre that have Subkult Festival, and she does a very great job in here in Sweden too, about that type of things, that you should feel safe no matter what. And been very big crisis over here too when bad things have happened, and people now start to realize it's even hit people that are just in the gangs. It's now happen everyone, and you never know when it's gonna happen. And at the same time, you see the madness outside in other part of the world, like Ukraine war still going on, and I don't really understand this thing. I'm not supporting any of those bad people that wants to have those type of things, like bombing others and killing others just for they don't want you there, or they want to take over. I think it's madness. I feel sorry for all the victims, the people that just want to live their lives and be there. I think that's fucking bullshit that someone gonna decide who's gonna have which part when people have lived there forever and everything. It's little like the native people here in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. That is the Sami people still fight today for their rights too, and still big companies run over them, and they still have this hatred from ordinary people too. I have roots from my father's mom's side, but unfortunately she took them with her in the grave, so I don't know much my background more than I have Sami blood. But I lost a big part of my heritage that way too, because it's that type of issue. And I guess it's the same thing like the Native Americans go through and everything like that, because it's still about money in the end. They don't care about the nature. They don't care about who was the really first person in that area, because if they can gain money, they're gonna run over you. And it feels a little like the same when it comes to subcultures too. If they can't gain money, you're not worth anything. You're just a freak, and you must be strange. You must be a devil worshipper, whatever they think you are. That's the thing that goth always have, and it's still fascinating today when you can hear the same type of things happen goths today. That actually people say exactly the same thing like I said to me when I was a kid and teenager and that type of things. When I started getting into goth when we didn't even know the word goth yet, because that was before computers. It was before mobile phones. We didn't have that type of things. So we still had the same thing back then. And it's a little bit sad when things don't really change. They still live on. They still live on. So yeah. And other things, yeah, I don't want to be too depressive either. I have very hard things going on in the background too. That's why my mood sometimes goes down for the moment. I try to be a tough cookie or something, but it's a little hard when you have a dark past still haunting you and you can't get rid of it. And there's actually an ex to me that was a narcissist, an ex-husband, and he lives still in the house that I own, but because the divorce haven't been ready all the way out, it's still just part of the house things, but it's too much money involved, and no one of us have the money for it either. So, hello, Janet. So, and his background to make it that I don't even dare to take something for granted that I can challenge him too much, because I know that it can go over travel too, and I don't want him to be hurted because of that either. So this ex have made the last 2 months soon living hell for me of different reasons, and this very big financial type of things is going on, and it's giving me this type of worries about the future too. But like I said to Trevor, we try to focus on things. We try to see that everything works. About the first thing that started around the house, when I suddenly got this thing that the whole yard outside the house been full and looked like a freaking dumpster, garbage everywhere. And I got the photo evidence that some neighbor had done that, had put that to the type of people that check out the environment. And it was like a first notice before you're gonna go to a warning, and then you're gonna, if you have and get to the next part, you have a certain time to clean it up. And I said to him, you need to start doing this. And I have been over already twice to the house. I've seen that it started to get better, but there's still things to do. But I don't want to really pay for it either if I don't have to. So I try to wait some weeks now and hope to do the last bits too. But it's worrying because if that should go over to a real fine for environment, then it can cost me a lot. And I talk a lot. It's more than one monthly wage totally in fines. And then the next thing came that he haven't paid for some of the things that was in the contract between us, because he rent the place from me till he can take it over, and it have to do with the garbage too and that type of things that they should be picked up from those type of things. And he haven't paid them for a very long time, and he have his lame excuses about it, like unemployment and that type of things. But you know, if you take contact with all these places, they can actually be nice and help you. But if you don't do it and just don't pretend they exist, of course they're gonna grow out of hands. And even if I have the contract that says that he gonna stand for these costs because it's not included in the rent, so that means that this contract don't have any fucking security for me anyway, because it showed that when this company that wants to have the money, they now put me like responsible for it from January. So I got this letter in April that I'm gonna start paying from January, and I didn't even know anything about it, and I was so stressed out because it's a lot of money and I don't want to pay for his things, especially when I have contract. And so I have a contract and everything that says it's on. And I say it doesn't matter. You're still the last responsible, so you have to pay. And I was thinking, for God's sake, I have checked all the things about the contracts around when it comes to if you rent out your house and that type of things, and they have that type of cost included, that you can say in the contract that the person that rent your place need to pay for it. But now it shows up that if you rent out your house, you can still be the one that have to take the big cost if you have a person that don't care about paying the bills. And I think I'm too old, I'm so stressed, and I still have to have this house. But I know in the future it's gonna come changes there too, and that's gonna be costable. And I know for sure that Trevor and I are not gonna live there either, even if it's close to Gothenburg. So we're gonna take this year till we have done this UK trip a little easy. Not gonna do much hustle, but just see that he start to pay the things that is not on me anymore, because some of the big amounts of money actually went on him and not on me. So it's just from January, but it's still too much. I'm gonna still demand them back from him. So, but that was the depressing thing, why I'm maybe not always in the mood for the moment, because it's been very stressful, because I can see that my life is turning the wrong direction without me causing it. I'm still living under the dark shadow from 9 years ago, a narcissist that have connection with a certain type of bikers gangs that you don't do anything against, if you know what I mean, because it's like other type of gangs that live in the areas closer here too, that you don't really say the wrong words or look the wrong way to them, because then you can end up dead. That's the way it goes nowadays. I'm not stupid. So if people understand that, if there should be less videos for a little while, so it's something going on in the background. It's not like I don't want to do videos. I love doing videos. I love to interact with you, and yeah. But yeah, the best thing is still that my health is going better. So I think that's might be one thing that's gonna make me stronger for the future, and for the decision I'm gonna do for next year, because I'm gonna need my health back. And I think it's awesome. And I was actually very happy when I got this request from Gothip Beauty magazine too, if I wanted to get a box from them. But it took very long time for it to leave US. It was a real nightmare to follow the parcel. It was stuck in Florida for a very long time, and I don't even know why it was jumping forwards and backwards in different parts in Florida. And then it was dead silent, and suddenly it came to Sweden, but I have to pay a custom fee for it. And the most annoying was that it was not the tax for the package itself that was expensive, because that was less than $1. It was the start pay for the custom thing that cost most. So I have to actually pay those before it was released. But then it still took some unnecessary long time to get here, because it came from Stockholm and not from my area. So the big company over here that is like the big one in US or the big one in UK. In UK is Royal Mail. In US is like USPS, I think you call it. So here is PostNord, and they really suck. And we don't have everyday mail either. They have like every second day delivery, but every second day is every second working day. So if you have a weekend in between, it's gonna go even more days in between. And if you got bank holidays coming in, it's gonna be delayed again, because here you can't rush it. It's only if people have paid a really high amount to ship things that it might come before it's time for it to, because then they have to go to your address. But usually it don't work that way, because people don't want to pay that much for things. So that's why I had to wait so long, and that's why I was a little afraid that I maybe lost my chance, and maybe they thought that I didn't want to do a video about it. but I was actually very happy that I got the chance. And it's actually a foundation from it I also use today, but it's not that pale like I thought it should be. And this ink is actually from that unboxing too, from that Gothic Beauty Magazine box too, 55. So it's really heavy and it's actually very nice, and it looks the same, so you don't have even to think which way you put it on. It's just the chain is a bit long, so I have to put it away, so it's still a lot of chain over to get it in this length, because I didn't want to hang it too long down, because then you can't see it's black ink to darker clothes. It's not that visible directly. That's the only issue when it comes. Maybe that's why I do also love silver, and I always loved silver. But I was reading now that even silver now start to be expensive and start to kick up like gold prices and that type of thing. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe now even my type of material now start to being expensive. So I know that the real silver stuff can be very expensive too to buy. But I always been a silver person, and when I was little, and the most people, even in my family, the rest was gold persons, and they bought me some necklace with gold, or some of the bracelets that was popular during the time that you have like this thing with your name on, and they want to give you that in gold. And I said, can't I get it in silver instead, because I'm not a gold person, I've never been. And I think black and silver is a really nice combination too. It goes with everything, so I love it. I love it. But that's me. Some people might love gold too, but I'm not directed, and that's why when I sometimes use things that are in golden colors and that I feel a little, should I use it, or makeup with some golden in, so become a little insecure, because that's outside my comfort zone too. But sometimes you need to push you out, and that's why I do sometimes makeup that actually are in colors that I don't use that much, because it's not mine. Like I use yellow and green. Pink is okayish when it comes to some parts of the makeup, but it makes a little too soft thing. And what's more happened recently, yeah, I've started to watch on TV uh, the new version of Shogun. I don't know if you are old enough to remember the old one. I think it was in the 80s, maybe it went. I remember I was at least not that old, and I loved that type of series already back then, and I thought it was great. But now it's a new one, new version, and I really love it. I think they have done it really great, and it's actually even much more better because they actually talk their own Japanese language in it too. So the one that don't speak English are actually talking their own language too. So it feels more authentic in some type of way. It's not feel like we done this thing, but we still talk English if it's in that's the bigger public we're gonna be shown for, because it take away a little about this authentic thing too. So if you want to see something and you're interested in that type of things around the Shogun area with the samurais and that type of things, I can recommend Shogun. And if you have any other type of TV series to recommend, do so. I'm still waiting for a new episode of other things coming, that we're waiting for the new seasons and that type of things. But it's always nice to find, and I love horror and that type of things. And if it's witches, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, you name it, that's my thing. And I do love this thing when it comes to the old Japanese type of things with the geisha and samurais, ninjas, that type of things too. So if you have any suggestion, just put it down. Else, it's not much going on directly. We just take day by day. Still waiting for the real spring to start. It's so cold still, and even today we got like first it came snowflakes, and just after it started to hail, and it's cold. The wind and the air is so cold. It doesn't matter the sun is up, because it don't feel like spring. It feels you freezing your butt off. So it feels a little depressive when you go out and see the sun, and you can get out and it's fucking loud. It is cold. It doesn't matter what I put on, because in my part of Sweden, that is in the southwest, is much more humidity in the air, so it's very hard to dress. Even the people that have written about how to dress when you are in the military when it comes to winter clothing say that in my part of around Gothenburg area especially is the hardest part of the country to actually dress for the cold weather, because the humidity. When you go up in north, it's more drier air, so it's actually easy. Even if the temperature drops even more, it's actually easier for them to stay warm with the different type of outfits. Hello, Dragor. Hello to the Dark Knight from Germany. And so, yeah, it's a little like that type of things. It's a little hard. I want a little more springs. I can go out in the nature, and hopefully soon all the other stuff starts. Yeah, and I know that I think the first thing that's gonna show up, I think it's not that long, maybe a month maximum, is actually Viking market. I'm not sure we're going yet. We usually went there every year when they still had it. And then I know it's gonna get in the same type of area outside Gothenburg. It's gonna be a medieval festival on that place too, that is in Kungälv. And gonna be all the tournaments and everything, and I have been there too. It's hot in Houston. Yeah, I can't say it's so hot here. It's freezing cold still. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a medieval festival. I was checking up a Torpa that is not far away from here, if they should have one this year, but unfortunately they're not gonna have anything this year either, because they're still doing all type of reconstructions and that type of things and make it is very fresh. I went to Torpa last year, and the work they done on this Stonehouse fortress, it's amazing. But I still want the medieval festival, the Renaissance fair, whatever you call it, and go off. So I think the Viking market and the medieval festival that are gonna hold north about Gothenburg are the first ones that actually gonna be something that is a little more fun. Hopefully the weather is a bit warmer, but I know when it's the Viking market it can still be cold, but at least not that cold that it's been here right now. And at least I'm happy that the snow didn't last directly, so it's still a little too warm. And actually we got the first spring sign when it comes to flowers too. I think you call it wooden animals or something. We call it vitsipur in Swedish. It came some snowflakes both yesterday and today, but it don't last. It don't turn white on the grass or something if that was, but it's in the air. You can see the snowflakes coming down, so that's very depressive. It started going to the end of April and we still got that things going on. But like I said, usually we can still expect that type of things. It's not gonna last, but this spring has so far been so cold. I also think, oh no, because I don't want to go with a thick jacket all the time. Yeah, you can see in 2 weeks, because hopefully the weather have changed to the much better. I know that when we went out before, I could see that actually the Japanese cherry blossoms now start to do some attempt to come, and that's we have beside the shop just a little bit from here. It don't take even 1 minute to walk there. So we have kindergarten play park or whatever you should call it, where they have those very big old Japanese cherry blossom trees, and it looks fabulous when they start. I think that's the only time I like pink actually, but that's on the trees and not on me. Yeah, they are fantastic, and one dream should actually to go to Tokyo or something to watch when they got the big Japanese gardens, have those coming up, because I have seen pictures and videos from that and it looks fabulous, especially when you're gonna see all this geisha type of things when they're coming that too. So that is one of the biggest things on bucket list too, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's a little too pricey for me, so So we have to see. I should love to see it because that's awesome, and that's really spring for me because then actually, and I do hope it's gonna be a little bit warmer too because that means that I can start doing a little longer forest walks too, and just bring something to eat and drink, and just enjoy the nature for some hours. That should be amazing. But right now it's a bit too cold and it's harder to dress than if you're gonna go out in the forest to do the walk and carry things too, because it's not like you can dress all way. Is it something else you want to ask about or so? And yeah, we have yeah, tickets for Amon Amalf too. They're gonna play on Liseberg in Gothenburg, and Liseberg is like this big roller coaster place type of thing. So that's gonna be exciting too. That's gonna be in summertime, so hopefully it's not raining or thunder or something, because that could happen very easily too in this part. Especially in my town, it's very rainy. So when people say when I went over to UK, oh, don't be afraid if it's raining in UK, blah blah blah. We have so much rain, and I was like saying it's just like being at home, because my part where I live are known for being rainy, and people always joke about that too. So. So yeah, so we gonna watch them, and I know that if you buy the yearly um, entry pass card or whatever you should call it, you can also go and watch other. You don't pay so much for the concert yourself, but you need to have something to get in. And if you have this yearly type of things, then you pay for a year to get in for free after when you have it. So then you can come even without booking which day, because else you can only come if there are enough places left, and if you sold out you can't get in. But I know the band you don't have to pay for either, so we have to see. Some two Swedish band, for example Mustache, I don't know if they are known that much in other countries. And then we have Lilla Syster, and they're also in the metal scene, so both band are from that area. Mustache is a Gothenburg band too, so and they have been going on for a very long time. So it's gonna be nice to see, and I know that there's other bands coming too, but some of the music is not the type we love at all. I think you should check them out if you, but maybe not like your type of rock and metal sound, but at least I like them. I've seen them live too, and Ralph, that is the singer, he's a very nice bloke too, down to earth, and I think Down to Black or something is one you can listen to them. I can always DM at least 2 videos you can take a look at and see if there's something that you like or not, because it's not for everyone, and it's not goth music, it's rock and metal music, but they are a little more old-fashioned rock style type of thing, so it's not that like the metal sound. They are, Hammerfall is from Gothenburg too, so that's right. It's like that Death Stars from beginning came from this type of West Coast area, a bit down from Gothenburg. They came, but I think the most of them moved up to Stockholm. So that's the sad thing, when good bands from our area think Stockholm is better, and I think Stockholm is the second best. It might be the capital town, but I still love Gothenburg much more better, because that's my town. That's my dream town. But I am happy that I don't live that far away. Just sit in the car for around 40 minutes on the highway and I'm there. So it's not that far away. So I can always drive there anyway, or take the bus or train or whatever, depending on what we're gonna do. And sadly, the most things are happening in Gothenburg too. So it's not that much things that we like that happens over here, because this city is a little too small for alternative things. Even if you have some people that are into the rock music and metal music too, that tries to make something happen, but it's not band that I know anything about it, and especially not the local ones. I have never heard about them, so I can't tell much. And last from the local that I loved here, I'm not sure they're playing. I haven't heard that much about them recently either, but they used to play in the summer because we have those days on Thursday during the summer period in 1 month when they have free concerts in a town on the big square there, and they have different type of bands and artists coming, and for some hours you have this free show on a big square, and it's gathering a lot of people. So you have a lot of that type of things coming, and this band I'm talking about is really quick, and they were known from start doing a lot of covers, especially popular when they did the covers that was from AC/DC, because a lot of people that is older know AC/DC, especially if they're into rock music. So, but they also started to do their own stuff too, and they implanted the type of instruments that maybe is not always think should suit in that type of music, but they did it really well. So, like they're using saxophone, the female part in it was playing on a saxophone, and she was brilliant too. So they were really good, and they were even sponsored by Harley Davidson with one tour. So they had this big tour bus coming that was studying Harley Davidson on, and they also was ridden on their own Harley Davidson when they get into the different towns too. So yeah, it's fabulous. So yeah, what should I say more? I'm not sure. I haven't planned that long. Uh, I think I want to do a little more collabs too, maybe easier time. And I think I'm gonna do some video about people that is not golfs, because I do follow people that are not in golf YouTubers or doing things that are just golf. So I want to lift that type of YouTubers too that I follow, if people should be interested of that too. And I also want to do a video for a girl on YouTube and Instagram I follow from the US, because she's amazing. She's not a golf YouTuber either. She's a vintage pinup girl, and she's fabulous. And she's mom of 2 kids that are autistic, and I think she's amazing. She has gone through so much things, even with her health and everything, and see everything she do, and now she won the big title she always wanted when it comes to this type of competitions too. So I was so happy to see that she actually won those that actually counts for her. Yeah, I want to do collabs because it's fun, and it's easy way to do contests too without having to buy things all the time. You can just decide what the collab gonna be, so it should be amazing. So because I want to show that it's not all about unboxings all the time. You should actually be able to show things on your channel that is not things you have to buy all the time, because we need in a time when we actually need to start thinking about the environment a little more too, and not just buy for showing up and then we're not going to use it. If you use the things, it's okay, and if you think that they're going to last a little bit, that's okay too. But if you just buy it to gain subscribers, then we are just wasting things. And I would love to have an environment. I would love that we have our nature still intact. And it's sad to see how much actually our lives affects the whole world when it comes to the sea and everything. And even countries down to even to Africa now start to live under the things that actually our consummation are actually creating in their countries, destroying the sea and everything, and see how the wildlife is disappearing and all other stuff. So yeah, so I should want to do something like that. I don't mind if we have different type of collabs. It don't have to be makeup looks or something like that. It can be that we're gonna create something. We can come with suggestion, or we do something together that one do apart, and we put it together and decide which channel is going to be showed at, and just see that we can do things without actually buying a lot of stuff all the time. That should be great, because the Goth subculture is a lot of do it yourself and use what you have and actually make them you. Make the things you and make them last. Because it's not about the buying the new latest and most expensive stuff. You actually should use your creativity and actually make things that are you or put them together in a way so it shows who you are. But now I think it starts to be time for me to prepare dinner or something, and I hope I can catch you another live, and I hope everybody stays safe and well, and that you are nice to each others, because we need a little more niceness in the world too, because there's so much things going on in a bad way. So this world is so mad. Yeah, but remember that I have already eaten my lunch, so for me it's dinner. Because I eat 6 times a day. That's what I have to do. So, but I think I'm gonna finish now, and I'm gonna say hej då in Swedish, or goodbye in English, or what should I say? Tschüss in German, and hope to see you soon. And yeah, auf Wiedersehen, Dragulor. Dragulor. Tschüss, tschüss, adios. Hasta la vista. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Hej då.